Friday morning daybreak edition of Jerusalem News.
Yes, while the sun's still coming up and getting my first cup of coffee into me, we're going to bring you the news that matters most here in first century Jerusalem. Big news overnight, Alana. Very big news. After being brought before Caiaphas, the chief high priest, Jesus has now been brought before the Roman officials, the governor of Judea, Pontius Pilate. We're going to cross to our reporter on the scene, Luke.
Yes, David. After examining Jesus, Pilate has brought together the chief priest, the rulers, and the crowd. The chief priests and elders have made numerous accusations, but Jesus hasn't replied to a single charge. Pilate is amazed. 3 times Pilate has made clear that he regards this Jesus as innocent. It is clear Jesus is completely innocent, so Pilate plans to punish Jesus and release him.
Wow. We'll keep you posted as more news comes in. But for now, it seems as though Pilate will punish Jesus and then let him go.
Okay.
That's the logical thing to do.
Yes.
He's going to do it to keep the crowd happy.
Okay.
Appease the crowd.
Yes. Well, we leave this section with Matthew and Luke, thank you, to note something else that is happening in Jerusalem this Passover week.
Yes, elsewhere in Jerusalem today, Alana, as the custom is here, a prisoner is released.
Yes.
Big news.
Big news every year.
Once a year, on this day, the Passover meal is a very important feast where we are reminded of the rescue that the Israelites had out of Egypt.
Yes, yes.
Many Jews come from all over the world to gather for this Passover meal.
They do. And the Romans won't be left out. They want to give the impression that they're sympathetic to this Jewish holiday, this Jewish history. They want to look good to the Jews. So they release a Jewish prisoner each Passover. We've received news that this year it looks as though the notorious Barabbas is going to be released.
He was a bad egg. We're all aware how dangerous Barabbas was. He's been in the news a lot lately. A notorious prisoner here in Jerusalem. No one will forget the insurrection.
Never.
The insurrection and the rioting that he and his followers caused in Jerusalem. It was a mess. He was crazy. He is a real rebel. He's no friend of the He's no friend of the Jews, and he's no friend of the Romans.
No, a real terrorist causing upheaval and havoc here in Jerusalem. Surely we want him punished, not released. This is the last person the people of Jerusalem want released from prison. He is dangerous to all, hardened and a calloused criminal.
Sorry, Alana, I'll just have to pause you right there. There's some big news that is coming in.
Yep.
Breaking news, in fact, from Luke and our other reporter, Matthew.
Right.
They're on the ground. There, where the action is happening.
Yes, Dave. Pilate is twisting events here this Passover. He wants to release Jesus. He sees no reason to send him to the cross. He has given the crowd a choice. They can choose between releasing Barabbas, which they don't want to, or Jesus, and crucify the other.
Wow, that's a real relief there. Thanks, Luke, for letting us know. Some real wisdom there from Pilate, wasn't there, Alana? He's going to let the innocent Jesus go free, and he's going to follow through with the death penalty for Barabbas.
Wisdom indeed.
Yes, Pilate is sure that the crowd wouldn't want the terrorist released, and surely they'd want a freedom for the innocent prisoner, Jesus. In fact, we've heard news from Pilate's own office that his wife has sent Pilate a message not to have anything to do with punishing Jesus. Everything would point to Jesus being released. But, big but, Dave, for some reason, there is still urgency in the crowd. They are demanding that Jesus be crucified.
Well, Pilate's wife seems to be the only person in all these trials who is speaking the truth. Jesus is not only innocent of blasphemy, of treason and of inciting a riot, he is completely innocent of all wrong. And Pilate's wife has made that known, as revealed to her in a dream. We'll cross over to Matthew now, please, who has more information.
Morning, Ian, Alana and Dave. Good to see you again. Yes, Pilate thought he was dampening the hate, and it could have worked. But in fact, as we study the crowd here, we see that the chief priests and the Jewish leaders are weaving through this large crowd this morning and persuading the crowd to ask for Barabbas to be released and for Jesus to be destroyed. It's incredible. Yes, with loud shouts, the crowd demanding that Jesus be crucified and Barabbas be set free. And Pilate listened to the crowd. Yes, after Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, he agreed to crucify Jesus. But he's made a public washing of his hands, saying he's innocent of the decision, putting all the blame on the people.
Well, there you go. We have guilty religious leaders, we have a guilty Pilate, we have guilty Barabbas, and now we also have a guilty crowd, all sharing this burden of guilt as the innocent Jesus heads to the cross.
The cross was prepared for Barabbas. He was guilty, and he was going to go to the cross for his crimes. But someone else has taken his place, someone perfectly innocent. And Barabbas, scandalously, will be set free.
Yes, Dave, it seems that Barabbas is the first person in history who can say, "In my place, condemned he stood."
But he won't be the last, Alana. He will not be the last person in history. He's not the only person who's going to be saved from this death.
As a guilty person?
Because of the innocent Jesus.
Barabbas was guilty and deserved to die, but yet was set free. It seems too good to be true.
So true, Alana. It is too good to be true. But followers of Jesus right through the generations can say the same words. Jesus has set me free.
I'm a rebel. I deserve to die for the crimes I've committed against my Creator.
Yes.
An unexpected, undeserved, unfathomable exchange has happened so that Jesus has taken our place so that we can be set free.
As we wind up here, as Jesus is being flogged and handed over to be crucified, we might wonder whether Barabbas will make his way outside the gates in Jerusalem.
Tomorrow morning.
And he might hide in that crowd to catch a glimpse of Jesus hanging on the cross instead of
in
him.
His place. Yes, what an experience, seeing Jesus on the cross instead of himself. Will he think differently about his life? Will it make him curious about Jesus? Will he discover that Jesus has come to welcome sinners such as himself and save us from judgment?
We can leave our viewers here today with that same challenge. Is that your hope? Is that your hope? Is that your confidence that Jesus has stood in your place?
The gospel is such good news for guilty people like you and me. Jesus, what a saviour.
What a saviour indeed. This is Dave.
And Alana.
Signing off.
From Jerusalem News.
Good morning.
Everybody needs